Good day, learners. We are back again today. We'll be focusing on hire purchase. So, what is a hire purchase? So, according to me, a hire purchase is a short-term loan. It's a short-term loan. It is usually used to buy goods. For example, maybe you wanna buy a refrigerator or a stove. Remember, we can not not all of us can afford things cash. So sometimes you have to use debt. So that's where hire purchase comes in. We make hire purchase agreements there, but then we use simple interest. We charge simple interest over the period of that loan. Remember, when you take a stove, if the stove was 10,000, you are not going to pay exactly 10,000. You are going to pay more because we charge interest. That's the second thing. Then the third thing is that after paying the deposit, we must pay the deposit first. Remember, so you can highlight. You can say these are short-term loans. Term loans. Then we talk about hire purchase agreement. Purchase agreement. Then what's next is simple interest. We deal with simple interest. And the loan is charged in simple interest over the period of that loan. Period of that loan. Then the third key point, you need to deposit a certain amount. A deposit is required. A deposit is required. And after paying the deposit, the balance, you must add the balance. For example, maybe the insurance, if is required, the interest paid off in equal monthly payments, remember, or installments. We call it installments. For you to understand how hire purchase works, let us do an example. A simple example. So James wants to buy a smartphone for 4,000. So James wants to buy a smartphone for 4,000. The contract state he must pay 10 a deposit of 10%. That means since James wants to buy a smartphone for 4,000, but then he does not have 4,000 cash, he wants to pay it in installments. And but then the contract that he signed says he must pay a 10% deposit in order for him to get that phone. Okay, so 10% of the purchase price, which is 10% of 4,000, interest of 11% per annum, which is per year, on the balance over 18 months. That means after paying a 10% of that amount, the remaining amount is going to be charged 11% per annum over the period of 18 months, which is 1 year, 6 months. So now they are saying his monthly insurance premium is 850. So he also has an insurance of this phone. That means this is a serious phone. Maybe Samsung Z Flip iPhone 16 Pro Max or what. So the question here says calculate his equal monthly installments or payment installments. So we want to know what is going to be James' monthly installments. Remember, maybe now you're going to the mall with your parent, and your parent takes a phone with a contract. So you can help your parent and tell your parent and be like, hey mom, you're going to pay this certain amount of money every month, and you're going to be charged this certain amount of interest. So before we tackle the question, let's check. Let's start dealing with the deposit. Remember, what is the deposit? Is 10% of what? Of 4,000. 10% of 4,000 the same as 10 over 100 multiplied by 4,000, which is what? 400. So the 10%, that means James has paid 400. So James is remaining to be the remaining money that is going to be charged interest is how much? Let me read it in full. The remaining debt is going to be 4,000 minus 400, which is 3,600. That means James goes to the store now and takes a phone and he pays 400 immediately. That means he's left with 3.6 and he wants to pay that 3,600 with equal monthly installments. That means he's going to be charged interest on that 3.6, not on 4,000. I hope I'm clear on that one. So now we want to see his monthly installment. Well, how much is he going to pay monthly? We can remember this is simple interest. A is equal to P into 1 plus IN. What is your A? You don't know your A. The payments. In this case, your A will be what? Will be your payment. How much is James going to be paying each month finally? So how much does James have? James owe 3.6. This is the money that James owe. James owe 3.6. 1 plus, what is the interest? It's 11 over 100, since it's 11% per annum. For a period of what? 18 months is 18 divided by 12, which is 1,5. 1,5. Remember I said N must always be in what? In years. Then when you punch this on your calculator, you're going to have 3.6 into 1 plus 11 over 100 multiplied by 1.5, which is going to be R4194. This is the money, the total money. Listen to me carefully. This is the total money that James will be owing at the end of 18 months. This is the total money that James will be owing. This is not the monthly installment. This is the total money that James will be owing at the end of 18 months. Remember, at the beginning, James was owing what? 3,600. But then it appreciates, it earns interest. So at the end of 18 months, that money will be 4,194. So now we want to know his monthly installments. Since he must pay this money, within 18 months. That means you are going to say James installments will be what? 4,194 divided by 18 months, because we want his monthly installments. Then we can punch it on our calculator. 4194 divided by 18, which is 233. But then remember, this 233 is not James' monthly installment. It is James' monthly installment for the phone, but then the insurance is not included. We must also include the insurance. The insurance being R8.50. And remember, it is paid monthly. That is why we just say plus R18.50, which is going to be R241.50. Remember, this is money. So James' monthly installment is going to be R241.50. Now let's do another different question. So now they are saying a refrigerator costing 2.3 can be bought through hire purchase, meaning this is debt, through a loan. So we can buy a refrigerator that costs 2.3 through a hire purchase with a deposit of 300. Remember, the deposit is required. So that means we can just say if he deposits 300, the remaining amount after deposit is going to be what? 2.3 minus 300, which is what? 2000. That means if I decide to pay the remaining amount over the period of 5 years, that means this 2000 is going to earn interest for a period of 5 years. Okay, so now let's continue. And 24 months payment of 110 each. So they say this guy, let's check his name. Oh, it's still James. They're saying James wants to take a refrigerator, then he pays a deposit. So now we have, and 24 months payment is going to make 24 payments, monthly payment of 110 each. That means over a period of 24 months, he would have paid a total amount paid will be 110 multiplied by 24, which is what? 110 multiplied by 24. Just wait a second. Which is 2640. So over the period of 24 months, if he's paying 110 each and every month, he would have paid 2640. And he is required to pay 110 every month. That's what the contract says. Now they say calculate the flat rate of interest charged on the balance. So what is the balance? The balance is the amount of money up after deducting what? The deposit. So which is 2000. So they want to know, why is James required to pay 110 each month in such a way that at the end he would have paid 2640? Why? How much interest are they charging per annum on that 2000 of the refrigerator, of the debt refrigerator? So that's what we are calculating. But remember, hire purchase is simple interest. A is equal to P into 1 plus IN. What is the final amount? The final amount that James would have paid for the refrigerator is 2640 without including the deposit. Then what is the initial amount that he was owing at the beginning before the period of 24 months? He was owing 2000. 1 plus, what is the interest? That's what we are calculating. What is our N? It's 24 months. 24 months is the same as 2 years because it's 24 divided by 12. Remember, I said your N must always be in terms of what? Your N must always be in terms of A. Yes. Now we continue. We are going to do what? We are going to divide by 2000, divide by 2000. Then when we take 2640 divided by 2000, we are going to get 33 over 25, which is equal to 1 plus 2i. Now, what's next? We transpose this one. We take it this side. That means it's 33 over 25 minus 1 is equal to 2i. Meaning, we are going to have 2i being equal to 8 over 25. Then we are going to say 8 over 25 divided by 2 is going to give us what? We are going to divide both sides by 2, which is going to give us what? Which is 4 over 25. Then remember, what is 4 over 25? 4 over 25 is the same as I is equal to 0.16. But remember, I said I, you always divide by what? By 100 from your percentage. So now we are reversing, we are going back to the percentage. When going back to the percentage, you must multiply by 100, meaning that your interest is what? Is 16% per annum. I hope I'm clear on that one. Thank you for your time. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Remember, on the 29th or 30th, on the 30th of August, there will be a Maths Paper 1 revision, which is only 150. Combo for Paper 1 and Paper 2 is 250, but this one is only for grade 12s. Thank you.